Like, we're just calling you a man-child, saying you're immature and you're hysterical.
A friend of mine sent me a link to a YouTube video, and it was a song by Sabrina Carpenter, Manchild, and I sent it on to you. The term man-child,
Yes.
I thought it was unfair.
Okay.
I think it's anti-men.
It's a small bit, I suppose. Yeah, I think men get a bit of a bashing. But, like, equally, I do think women get a bashing as well. Sure, look at how many years were we called hysterical and locked up for having hysteria and all of this kind of thing because we overreacted emotionally, you know. And so this term is no different, really. So like, we're just calling you a man-child, saying you're immature and you're hysterical.
Right.
Yeah, and you need to be looked after, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in one way, I concur with that because men, their brains aren't developed fully. I think until they're 24 or probably even a little bit later.
40 maybe in some cases.
44 or a little bit later. 60. And I would say that, like, I got married when I was just 21.
Oh my God, yes.
I was only a baby. I didn't know what it was doing. So I would think that people, not only should they not be encouraged not to get married too young, because they are emotionally mature, but it should be illegal. It should be a law against it. Mandatory.
That's a strong opinion, for sure. I mean, I know the travelling community wouldn't be happy with that. They're allowed to get married very young, like at 16 or 17 or something. Yeah. I think it's 17 now is the legal age. Yeah,
but you're not emotionally mature. But I think while I will concede that a lot of men are emotionally immature, some women are too.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it really just depends on your upbringing and what has happened in your life as well. Yeah. I mean, I would say maybe I was 28, I'd say, before I was fully developed mentally and emotionally. Even like my emotional intelligence grew significantly between the age of 23 and 28. Right. I learned an awful lot more about life experience. Yeah.
Right.
And that's incidentally when I had my first baby, and then I got better and better after that, of course. Yeah. But I tell you, it's not an easy thing. Like, if you don't learn how to have emotional intelligence when you're growing up in your family, I mean, you're going to come up across some barriers in your adult life.
I'll tell you something now. I didn't know there was a thing called emotional intelligence.
Oh, neither did I.
I would say that I didn't emotionally become anyway intelligent until I qualified to be a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
And that was I was nearly 40. It was in my late 30s.
Isn't that gas?
Isn't it? But you see, when you don't know something, you don't know that you lack it.
Yeah.
You don't know that you don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't saying that. Like, I mean, I would have felt emotions and would have been able to relate to people emotionally, but not to the degree that I can do now.
Yeah.
So that was education rather than life experience that taught me that. Taught me to understand emotional intelligence. But other than that, I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah.
But like young lads, and this is part of our conditioning. When they're in their early 20s, you know, they would say that men take risks. Hold on, we mentioned this in a previous video. What young guys are concerned about is money, getting money, being able to have a good time, have a nice car, have a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. And that's what they're focused on, you know. And sometimes, you know,
don't forget now, lots of sex, Paul.
Lots of sex, and who can I fight?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and will I follow Man United or Liverpool?
Oh, yeah.
I think, and you can confirm or otherwise this, that the social conditioning for females is very different. I think that a lot of females are indoctrinated with this princess thing, that the man's going to come look after them. They're going to get happily married and live happily ever after.
Yeah, I mean, certainly from my age group, that would be true. You know, my age group of growing up, I suppose, back in the 80s and 90s, would have been very much that, you know, the prince is going to come and kiss you and wake you up and make everything better or rescue you from your tower.
Make a cup of tea.
And this,
make the dinner.
Watch for him and all of that stuff. Keep hopping out, baby.
The dream stops.
Keep going, The begging reality sets in. But then I see another pattern forming there for my children. So the next generation then, you know, their thing is, well, I can hop on a boat and sail across the seas on my own at 14 years of age or whatever. You know, it's not realistic at all. If we're to look at the theatre or movies. So, but what are we teaching our children as parents? What are we bringing them up to be? I remember my mother used to joke about us marrying a man with money.
Yeah.
But
she wasn't joking.
She wasn't really joking. She was serious, you know, and she'd be saying to us, oh, there's an old bachelor down the road there now, he's nearly ready to tip it on.
Yeah.
You could marry him there now and he'd leave you the whole farm. Like, Jesus Christ, Mum. No.
But you see, that's what marriage was about really back in the day, was an alliance between people over property and money.
Honest to God, yeah. Yeah. It was very different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, in some ways it was good because, you know, you kind of maybe met somebody who was close to your values and beliefs and stuff like that, or somebody who was close with your family.
Yeah.
So the families would always get along. Like, but at the same time, women were basically sold off, weren't they?
Women were
dowries gone.
And this is why women had to take the man's surname.
Yeah.
It became, you know,
became nearly mandatory.
Yeah, a lot of women don't do that anymore.
No, they don't. It's right. I like actually to take my husband's surname because for me it was a new lease of life nearly.
You wanted to get away from your own name.
I really did. Yeah, I was ready to leave my past behind me because it was quite disturbing. You were ready to
split up from your surname.
I was, the old family of origin.
So you wanted a new identity then as
I was happy to take a new
as
course.
Mrs. His
Mrs.
surname.
Leijen. Yeah. Mrs. Leijen. I have a joke with my mother-in-law. We call each other Mrs. Leijen across the fence.
All right.
Good morning, Mrs. Leijen. It's class, actually.
But I do think that people can be forgiven for being emotionally underdeveloped or immature, whatever way you want to call it. Because, you see, at whatever age you are, you think that you know best. You know, you get a stroppy teenager and they kind of go, well, I'm just doing, you're not the boss of me. I never asked to be born.
I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, you don't know. You're only an old fuddy-duddy.
Yeah.
And then in your early 20s, you just kind of go, yeah, well, I'm on the up, and that guy, he's cresty, he's on the way down. He's not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And then you kind of keep going like that. At any point, you kind of think, yeah, well, I do know best because I'm a whole lot older and wiser now than I used to be. But you don't really know.
Yeah. It's very hard to know at that stage, you know, of your life, what direction you're going in. And I think there's a huge amount of pressure put on young people as well around leaving cert age, Paul, which I'm not a fan of it. I'm openly public about that. I really don't think it's right to put so much pressure on children of that age.
No.
That they have to, their whole life depends on this leaving cert. It's absolute nonsense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just completely unfair to them as well. You know, it causes so much suicide ideation, deliberate self-harm, and the list goes on and on. Yeah, I mean, you don't know really. Sure, I went back as a mature student myself as well.
Oh, I only got the best sort of education when I went back in my late 30s.
Yeah. But like, I suppose it's getting away from the point a little bit. It's opening the conversation more into more aspects of it, I suppose. But having a man-child, you know, you can have a woman-child as well, can't you? I mean, if you're having to bloody mind somebody and clean up after them and direct them, now
you see, a lot
here's
of men
your
are looking
shoes,
for a mammy,
walk
aren't they?
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's, you know, that was probably the experience early on. You got married and your wife had your dinner ready for you when you came home from work. But it's not like that anymore. It's freaking has long since changed. Now it's very much balanced, I would say. It's more balanced now. It's whoever gets home first gets the dinner on. Because everybody is working.
Yeah, and they're actually stay-at-home husbands as well.
Yeah.
I think. But I think, and I say it, I'm known for saying this, that we as adults were grown-up babies. And you see it in people that you work with. People can be stroppy, people can have hissy fits, tantrums over stuff.
Banging doors and
you
stuff
have to
like
walk eggshells around them. And that's lack of emotional maturity.
Oh, it is.
People kind of just kick off.
We had a lad here in the clinic actually banging doors and stuff when he wouldn't be listened to. Long since gone, thank God.
Yeah.
But like not having the emotional maturity to say what you feel or think.
Yeah, or to know or be able to take responsibility for how you feel.
Yeah.
And instead of blaming other people for your emotions.
Yeah, you need to point the finger back. So there's four. When you're pointing the finger at somebody, there's four pointing back at you. Isn't that the?
No, there's three because
premise?
Your thumb isn't. Well, it isn't counted as one of your fingers. It's counted as your thumb.
Yeah,
So
good
there's
man. There's three fingers pointing back at you. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
You. Let us know what you think.
I need to learn how to count.
I'd love if people, maybe we could do a poll on this.
Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
Should it be made illegal getting married at 21 or younger? I think it should.
Oh my God, that'd be class.
We are the Happy Editors. Like us, subscribe to us, and we'll talk to you soon.